27 left, clear to land. 230 at 20.
Welcome, my urban aviators. Got a special treat for you today. Two lovely ladies here doing big things in aviation. Seen them all over Instagram, Facebook, what they got going on right now. Wish I could be in New Orleans for it, especially, the handle. I love food, so of course, Orleans food brunch. And then hanging out for Essence Fest, because I've never been to Essence Fest, so. Got to make it down. I know. I'm disappointed in myself when I say that.
You definitely do have to make it. We'll do it again. Don't worry. This will not be the last time that we do this.
Yes, most definitely. I will take you up on that offer kindly, greatly. So to introduce the ladies today, I have Toya Bolden. She is from Journey Right LLC. She's been a pilot. I'll tell you how I found her right quick. Probably about a year ago, I was doing a post on Instagram. I was looking for a whole bunch of Black pilots because I was doing a Black excellence post on Black pilots. And so ran across her page. I was like, oh, yep, she's going in the list, and then compiled a whole bunch of others. And then I made the post. She liked it. I followed her. She followed me back. And then, kind of here we are from there.
The rest is history. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. And then we have Megan from Women Rock Wings. I've been doing my research on a great organization as far as looking at the numbers and, listen to how you speak and what you spoke about in terms where, you've been on panels and stuff. I mean, the number of minorities is already discouraging to me. But then when you look at the number of minority women, that's even more discouraging. Yeah. I love the fact that you're trying to bring that up. And that is a great focus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, the topic of the day most definitely is, the basic topic is women in aviation. But that's not how we're nowhere near basic. So, I call this, conversation with trailblazing Black women in aviation. Because both of them are doing great things within aviation.
I love it. Thank you so much. I love that.
Let them tell a little bit about themselves.
Megan, you want to start? First of all, you guys, do y'all hear music in the background? I just want to make sure that's not my phone.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a new phone and I'm like, is my phone playing music? I don't know. I don't want to fade to black and try to figure it out. So, Megan, can I toss the ball over to you to kick it off?
Oh my gosh, you did it twice, so I guess I'll go first. Even though I love even numbers. So my name is Megan Hobson. I am the founder of Women Rock Wings. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And I started flying about, I would say, at the top of 2020. And it wasn't something in my purview, but I actually walked into aviation when I was much younger, many years ago, as an aircraft electrician. I used to fix KC-10s extenders in the Air Force. And then I started flying after I commissioned to become a chaplain because it was the first time I had seen actively serving Black pilots. And one of them became a mentor of mine and asked me had I ever thought about flying. And at the time, the answer was no. And he said, why don't you try it? So I did. And here we are. And Women Rock Wings just came about by accident, honestly, due to COVID being shut down and just wanting to connect. And it was accidental, but it became exceptionally intentional once I got more into the community and I saw the need, but also I saw the camaraderie. So it was something I knew I just had to be a part of.
Absolutely. Megan, every time I hear your story, I'm like,
Yes,
I love to hear it. You are amazing.
And that's how Toya and I met too, because of the page.
Yes.
So,
So, wow. So my story is very different from Megan's. I have absolutely no aviation background. I actually was a mom, entrepreneur, and working from home at the time. And I literally one day decided I want to be a pilot. I had no idea what it entailed. I had no idea what the cost was going to be. I didn't know, the difference in women versus men, Black versus white. It was just a thought that just kind of appeared to me. So within a week, I was in the air. I had did my research. I found an airport about 15 minutes away from my house, and I did my discovery flight. And when I did my discovery flight, I was down in the plane like this. and the CFI was like, his name was Matt. So he was like, Toya, you got to sit up. You gotta like look out the plane. And I'm like, but I got you. Like, you over there, like, you got this. And he was like, no, you gotta sit up and look out. So I sat up and I looked out and I immediately grabbed my phone. And I have been recording every moment that I can from that moment in time. When I landed that day, I got out of the plane and my first question to Matt was, can I do this? And he was like, you most certainly can do it. He said, take it serious. He was like, but you got this, you could do this. And I said, okay. And I said, well, what do I need to do? And he walked me in the office and I said, he's pointing out like the log books and the headsets. And I was like, oh, wow, it's a lot of things that I need to get here or whatever, but I'm going to get it. We're going to make this happen. And I have to mention Lucy. Lucy was working in the school's office at the time. She was the receptionist and the front desk person. And she said, are you gonna take, flight lessons? And I said, I'm like, I don't know if I should shake my head, yes or no. And she's like shaking her head in agreement with herself. So I just chimed in and I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. And she said, okay. She said, I fly. And that was just like, when she said that, I was like, man, this is going to be a wild ride, but I'm going to do this. So in community, getting into aviation and just not knowing anything about it, I took to social media as well. It was kind of like middle towards the end of COVID. And I stumbled upon, Women Rock Wings, and me and Megan and I didn't know what she looked like. Again, color was never a thing for me. I didn't know, that she was one of me, so, but she goes like, I think in conversation, Megan, you were like, you had noticed a Lauryn Hill caption that I had put, because I'm always inserting hip hop or the urban culture wherever I can in my aviation experiences. But when she said that, I was like, and then she sent me something. She sent me a water bottle, and it sat on my desk through all of my courses of training. And it was just a constant reminder that there were women out there like me doing the thing. So that's how I got started.
I guess it's my turn now.
Yes. I'm excited to hear your story.
So I'm kind of the same way as you, Toya. So like height of COVID, 2020, got bored in the house. I'd always wanted to fly. I just couldn't decide whether it was helicopters or whether it was going to be airplanes. So, but that was as a kid. So, 2020, COVID's going on. I'm ready to get out of the house. I was like, I think I'm actually do it now. And so I wound up going to one of the major flight schools that we have here, signed up for lessons and started taking lessons, just kind of like you on my first lesson. So I'll never forget this. I tell everybody this story. So go through, pre-flight checklists, going through the plane, we get in, lets me taxi to the runway, after doing the run up and everything. So we get on the runway. He's like, go ahead. It's all you. You're going to take off. I'm looking like,
what? I just got here. Are you?
I said, hey, this is the first lesson. You sure you want me to do this?
They believe in us more than we believe in us.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
So we get to going. Of course, he's helping me out, keep straight on the runway. So now I'm pulling back on the yoke. We start taking off. And I'm pulling back. And I'm pulling back. And I'm pulling back. I was like, hey, am I supposed to be pulling back this far? He's like, nope. And so we kind of straighten out. And then, he's like, go ahead, get you some pictures. And so, instead of just like in the plane, like doing like this, like it was a Cessna. So I had the window open. He's like, you might not want to put your phone by the window. You will lose it. I had to tell me about many stories of people, dropping their phones out the window. I started cracking up.
Yeah.
But it was from there, kind of like my experience, it was still during COVID. Everybody else had the same idea that I did. So there's a lot of people trying to learn how to fly. And then like with the flight school I was at, planes kind of limited at times between being in maintenance and people renting them. Right. So you know what? I had the bright idea. I started doing some research. So I was like, I'm gonna go buy my own plane. Nice. So went out, started looking how much all this and how everything works and studying all this. And so I went out, bought my first plane. And that was one of the things that I've been wanting to explain and trying to explain to people, that it's within your reach. You just got to understand what you're doing. And that's kind of like what I've also been doing, is educating people on, how to make those moves. So by the end of 2020, got my pilot's license, and then, you know, kind of flying around for 2 years. I was like, I know I had this dream. Who else has this dream? And then who else has this dream as a young adult or as a kid? And so from there, started putting things together, thinking about, you know, what can I really do? And then I wind up selling the first plane I had, and I went to Houston to look at a plane. And the field out there, it was a regular flight school. They wind up getting grant money to let kids fly, and so they was getting kids their pilot's license. Now anybody could attend and be a part of the program for that one. And so I was like, how can I work this out? So after talking to him and then coming back home, which was about an 8-hour flight from Houston to Columbus, Ohio, basically, it was good though. I got some hours. Wind up putting a plan together, and you know, that's how the Urban Aviator Society came about. So, you know, our main goal is, you know, serving the underserved and the underrepresented youth who do not have an opportunity that some people would have, giving them that exposure. And, you know, that's like 2 parts to our plan, like, you know, exposing, you know, the kids to everything, and then also trying to help them out as far as paying for their lessons to help them get their license.
Nice. That is amazing. Thank you so much.
I love that. What a beautiful story.
Gosh, the stories are so amazing, so inspiring. We've been on, you know, for just a short period of time to get so much inspiration out. I just salute both of you guys. Amazing.
Same.
That's crazy.
Oh, we'll definitely be talking more too, because both of us want to buy planes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, I mean, now the market is not what it was, but they're still doable. It's getting better. So that's the great thing about it. But this is the first thing I want to tell people, that it is a lot more in their grasp than they think.
Yeah, and that's what we feel. When I first started following, I think it's like Trade a Plane or whatever, and I'm like drinking my coffee in the morning, like looking at planes and, you know, like looking at the pictures and the insides and the specs and you know, the pricing and everything. I'm just like, I could never thought that I would even be thinking to do something like this, you know. So we'll definitely be talking more on that for sure.
Yeah, that was me. I was like, I got hooked on the Trader Plane controller and anything else there was, just looking every day at planes.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Wow.
So we're gonna jump into it, I guess.
Yes.
So you know, I most definitely want you both to answer this question. But we're looking at what inspired you to pursue being a pilot, and how did your journey begin?
Okay.
Toya,
inspiration.
go first.
So inspiration, I think once I finally got into the lessons, and what actually kept me going was the community that I was coming in contact with as I was pursuing, you know, this dream of mine. Also having the support that I was getting from family and friends. I don't think I realized how unusual it was to say, you know, this is what I'm doing. I'm flying planes, or, you know, I'm taking flight lessons, or today I'm going up in a Cessna. You know, you almost have to say it twice, because people are like, wait, what did you say? And they're excited and they're proud of you. And, you know, I've done a lot of different things in my life. You know, becoming a mother is a very, you know, proud moment. Graduating high school, graduating college, all of these things are super groundbreaking and they're life-changing moments. But this right here, not only did it inspire me, but it literally just kind of like changed the confidence level in my life, in my business, and the way I parent and the way I interact with people. So I would say, what inspired me most was just like community and the energy that revolved around the whole, you know, dream of flying and becoming a pilot.
That's good. I think, what do you say after that? For me, flying honestly was a very personal matter initially. I honestly didn't tell anyone except my mentor that I was going to do it, in the school that I began flying at, which is Delaware State University. Shout out to all the HBCUs out there. There are 9 that have aviation programs currently, and Tuskegee's just got back online. So we're so excited about that. And that's where I began flying. And so it was very, very private. It was this thing to me that was something I needed to accomplish for myself at the time when it initially began in my journey. And my mentor asked me that question, as I said earlier, but I didn't want anybody to touch it because, like she said, it's so unknown. And I said, I have to finish. I don't want anybody's energy on me. I don't, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, because things can be unknown, people not always, they may have the best intention for you, but their doubt can become your doubt. So because it was uncommon, I didn't want to tell anyone at first. I didn't even tell my mom I applied to TSU. I didn't say a word like to anybody. Literally only my mentor knew because it was his alma mater. And I said, okay, I'm going to apply. I said, if I get in, I'll go for it. If I don't, I'll go active duty. I was kind of at a crossroads in my military career as well. And I didn't get selected for active duty that year, but I got selected for the aviation program. So I was like, okay, God, there's my answer. And as I got deeper into it, what inspired me was change. That's the best way I could put it. Changing my own personal life, changing my family's life, changing our community, just doing something different, being forward with it. And that's how I became a non-insular version of myself when it came to it. At first, it was personal and very private, but then I realized it was my responsibility to be seen. So that's what started, kind of like Toya said, that community is what kept pushing me in my motivation. So at first, it was like a private endeavor. And that's what motivated me, changing my life, changing my family's life. But then I said, you know what? I want to change my community too. So that's how I would say that's what inspired me.
That's it. I told everybody it's going to be some inspiring and some amazing stories that they were going to hear. And most definitely. And that's why I said Trailblazers, because at the end of the day, you're both doing something great as far as to give back into the community, to help people do the same thing that you got into. And, you know, that's what it's all about. And I just want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yes, Megan, thank you so much. And when you say Trailblazers, I was like, oh, wow. You know, like, I don't look at myself like the women that we're going to be honoring. I'm like, those are the Trailblazers, you know. But I thought about it and I thought on it. And I thought that the context of it and the context of like what Megan just said, you said it so beautifully. You know, we all have a responsibility. And this intertwines with an amazing passion that we have. So thank you for giving us, you know, that name and that title. And, you know, there are some unique ways that we've become Trailblazers that we'll get to as the conversation continues. But it's so unique. It's unique and it's different from even the way that I think we look at the Trailblazers that, you know, when we think of women in aviation. So thank you so much. And, you know, we'll get to it in a bit.
Yes. I mean, because when I first saw the fly-in, I've never seen anybody do it how you're doing it. I've seen other fly-ins and but I mean, the way that you have it structured, that was like, oh, that's genius. I like that.
Thank you.
And, you know, that's part of the thing that I was like, yeah, they're Trailblazers. I mean, because like I said, truly, people fly in, they may eat, you know, at the local, you know, $100 hamburger spot, walk everybody's planes and stuff like that. But you created like all kind of events, and not just for pilots, but like kids and everybody else. So you know, being inclusive for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. You want to go there? You want to take it there? You want to?
We
take
can
it
talk
there
about
right
culture now. Listen, if it's flowing that way.
You literally hit it right on the head. And I mean, I'm definitely down to jump right in. So it was definitely the way that this event kind of came together and this movement that we're going to be able to continue, you know, annually. You know, you've got coffee in planes, you know, where people just kind of, you know, they pre-register and they show up and they just kind of meet and greet and kick it in the, you know, on the ramp or in a parking lot or whatever. But we decided to make it an event, and that's my background, you know, like doing these lavish events nationally and internationally. So I was like, actually, you know, being at Essence last year and at our booth, I assisted Megan. We were looking around and we attended some of the after parties, and we was like, dude, we could definitely do something crazy out here next year. And I mean, not to like talk about anybody's event, but just kind of like add our own twist to it and make it what we would want to attend. So we were like, hey, let's do a hangar party. Let's find an airport, close by the convention center and host, a day party or something like that. And yeah, that kind of turned into renting out a whole airport real quick.
Pretty quickly. It's so funny because the conversation really it wasn't even via text. And the funny thing is Toya and I have each other's number, but I think because our relationship started in DMs, we like go back to DMs by fault
all the time.
and it was so funny because I'm like, it was her idea initially to do a hangar party, dead serious, while we were sitting standing at the booth. She said it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And then we all like went home, Essence is over, and I was like, maybe we should do a fly-in, right? And she said, let's do it. And the very next morning in my DM, she found the airport.
I don't play. If you guys said, I know somebody else is watching. I'm working on another project. I know they're like, yeah, that's Toya. If I tell her, I better be ready to go because
I couldn't believe it. Because I just said it, and I promise I didn't expect anything. But she just like next morning she had New Orleans Lakefront Airport in the DMs, and I said, oh, okay, let's do it then.
Yeah,
it got real.
Yeah, it got real quick, and so that the brunch developed really quick on, and then the panel discussion. Megan is going to be absolutely fabulous. She's hosting and moderating that, and her guests are just unbelievable. I can't wait to sit and watch and be a part of that and learn myself about all more that the industry has to offer. Messina's Cafe, they've been dolls throughout the entire process. They are making an amazing gourmet brunch for us and our guests and giving us the most exclusive location in the terminal. Like, it couldn't be more picture perfect. You mentioned, kids. My background comes in. One of my backgrounds, I've lived about 6 different lives, but one of my backgrounds is early education, and kids mean a lot to me. I have my own. So it was a no-brainer to bring an aspect or an element for the kids. And Microsoft has graciously, I cannot even believe the word Microsoft, y'all. Yeah. Microsoft is our partner. Darrell Booker has completely given us, his network, and it is an amazing network. And I cannot wait to see all that they have to offer come to life in the terminal, along with STEM NOLA. We wanted to also incorporate some of the community, actually a lot of the community of New Orleans. So that's why we're doing this. But so we're going to have vendors there the day of that's going to be selling products and whatnot. And then Megan, I'm not going to talk about the outdoors. Can you please take it away?
Gosh. She always does this. So, Toya, both of us have lived some lives. And so with my military background, we definitely wanted to incorporate that as well. Because aviation, obviously there are several sectors. And so our ramp display will be military aircraft. We'll have some T-44, some T-6s. We're still trying to get the rest of the aircraft underway. We're waiting for them to confirm, obviously mission based, but definitely, hopefully they're saying C-130. We're still waiting for a couple more, but they are also making the direct and intent effort to send aviators who are of color. And we asked that specifically so they can see them. So they won't be like me working on planes for 10 years and not seeing any Black pilots, right? Shout out to my flight engineers who I did see though, and our crew chiefs, and that looks like us, but definitely just different atmospheres. And they're also sending people who actually have rank, some heavy rank on them, which I appreciate. And of course, I've been a lieutenant, and that's how you start out. But it's good to see when people climb, right? And you see us in these positions. So they are sending us some people with some good rank on them, and we're very, very thrilled. So the ramp display will be amazing. We will also have a special military flyover to cap off the event at the end. So put the snaps on. We are thrilled. Shout out to our military social organizations manager, Bree, who really has been walking through with Bruce Martin, who's the airport manager at Lakefront, to make sure all of the forms are done. Because, when you buy a plane, there's a lot going on. When you want to do a flyover, you have to fill out FAA forms, something we did for the very first time.
Lots of fun.
Yes. It was a great learning experience. But just to echo what Toy, I never thought we'd run out an airport and have the level of partnerships that we have. So, you know, we're newer and this is a new event, but to say Microsoft, to say that we're partnering with them, to say that we're partnering with the Air Force and the Navy, it is really amazing. And we have some other people coming out. We just can't say as of yet, but just the brunch and Messina's and, you know, the proceeds from the tickets are going to go to grants, which we will be awarding, at the brunch as well. So everything is full circle. Toya is an amazing at what she does. She sits on the phone and she's like, okay, if we were a guest, this is what she asked, if we were a guest, what would we want this event to be like? Let's walk through it step by step, you know? And so it's really coming from a place of women who care and who want to see us in different spaces. And like you said, include and celebrate and see the joy of aviation and all the opportunities that it has to offer.
You see, that's like one of the things that I love, like just when you look at the whole aviation industry in itself, a lot of people don't understand all the behind the scenes stuff, like the mechanic. You got to have the mechanic.
Amen.
And, you know, the ramp people.
ATC.
Especially, yes, because that would be a nightmare not to have ATC.
Yeah.
You know, just all the other positions that play a huge role within aviation, you know, exposing people to that stuff is kind of what it's all about as well.
Yeah.
So let me ask.
Yes.
How long has Women Rock Wings been here? How long has you've had it?
December 2020 is when we initially started.
Okay.
Yeah. So what year? Almost 4. We're 3.5 going on 4 years.
Oh, we got a party
December,
next
which
year.
I can't believe.
Well, you'll be 5, girl. We're gonna party.
Listen, 4 is my favorite number. Come on. And I
good. 4 is a great number.
Huh?
I said 4 is a great number.
Yeah.
Oh, are you a quad?
I'm a 4.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. So am I.
I'm October 4th. That's my birthday. We're all got
yes, there we go. All the 4s.
I know Nick was at home like, there go number 4. And we always call it out for. We're like, oh my God, girl, we're on the 4th floor and we're in room 404. And it's like, you know, like we're always calling it out. Like that's our number. So
it's a very, very good number. It's a very good number. But yeah, we're walking into our 4th year. So I think continued connection is where we are. I think growth is important when you connect with the right people. You can continually grow, keep giving, keep loving, and you don't have to. It doesn't take your shine away to help others shine. It only makes you shine brighter. And so I think if we keep that mindset, we'll only get bigger and bigger to help more people.
Yeah. So
is Lakefront going to be home from now, or is it going to move around?
Woo!
Oh yeah, you're gonna take that one.
Well, we have. This will always be home base for us. We've connected with them in a way that I don't think we could ever imagine that would be able to connect with an airport. The airport manager or airport director. I'm always like, that's our guy, you know, like I hit him with it. That's our guy because he's had our back from the minute that we came to him with the idea. Yeah. It has evolved. It has not spiraled out of control. And that's what I am constantly reminding him of. Like, we've got this, but it has definitely evolved into something amazing. And they even, you know, have encouraged us to come back. Our work is new to New Orleans, but we're connecting very deeply with some very deeply rooted organizations in that community. So we do want to continue to support them and continue to support the youth, but we will be taking our talents across the nation.
Absolutely.
We have a location set for next year, and we're looking at the year after, or either having a late in the year event next year. So we want to incorporate different communities, you know, all around the U.S. and celebrate. We're celebrating. So, absolutely. You know, we're not just showing up to meet and drink coffee, you know, and have an omelet. Like, we are literally like celebrating women in aviation. It doesn't matter if you are a captain on an airline, pilot, a flight attendant, you know, training in general aviation, we're celebrating you, and we're bringing activities for the kids so that we can, ignite something in them, so that we don't know what they're going to be,
Absolutely.
So that's what the goal is. And also to be able to touch in on different cultures. So, the Latinas, Black, our white sisters, it doesn't, we want to connect with everyone. This year, our first year, we chose to, just hand in hand with Essence and the cultural celebration that Essence does in New Orleans. But, we are a diverse group, and we're wanting to celebrate everyone all across the nation.
Yeah.
As you talk about that, then that leads me to my next question.
Oh, see, perfect.
In what ways do you believe the aviation industry can better support and encourage diversity among pilots, particularly for women of color?
Who's going first on that one?
You got this.
Because it's a super loaded question. I think for me, they can keep doing what they're doing now. I answered this question recently. There are a lot of programs out right now, pathway programs. They're offering funding to organizations like Urban Aviators, or, like a Fly Compton, or like a Women Rock Wings. And they can keep doing that but I think more so what matters within the industry are the ones who look like us, that are already in, saying our names and advocating for us for it to look differently. Because at the end of the day, people who don't think about you don't think about you. And because they don't have your life experience. So for me, yes, the industry needs to do more programming, and they can keep doing that. But it's up to us. Like, this conversation is important. It's up to us who know to say we're going to do a Fly Cultures. It's up to you to partner like you're doing right now with OBAP. It's up to, you know what I mean? It's our responsibility to make changes within these industries, because we will be in different places. And honestly, not getting pinholed into one career field within the industry. I personally think that's more important for us to always tell everyone. Being a pilot is amazing. Absolutely. It's not something you see all the time, but you can be an aviation lawyer, right? You can be an airport manager. You can be a civil engineer, because we need people who build airports and fix airports. There's so many aspects to the industry and to the community. You can fly for the joy of it. You can enjoy just flying, right? And not have to do it as a career. So I think for us is to educate vastly on what the offerings are, and continue to make those spaces on our own, because we are ourselves and we are each other's people. And so we are our industry. That's how I feel about that question.
I love that. In just a small way, because that was so amazingly answered. I think that helping financially is a big way to be able to help. And that's one thing that I'm really excited about with Fly Culture, with the grants that we were able to create and give to women. So, we're getting applications in. It's very interesting to read their stories as well. It's very hard to choose, the board to choose, who's going to get these funds, but it's not cheap. It's not cheap. And, during COVID, that was a different time. We had time, a lot of us had, a lot of time and, extra money and things like that. And now things are more expensive, and, it's just we're all in a different place. So to be able to help financially and on a mentor level, and to be able to help through social media, to just kind of show, even though I haven't shown y'all ain't seen me throw up on the plane yet. I ain't post those videos. I mean, I was thinking about it. I was like, should I show the time I barfed in the plane? Or should I show the time I was on the Cirrus, in California, and I'm like, they don't want to see that. But they might, because it happens to the best of us, and it happens to all of us. So just showing the behind the scenes, being able to fund and help people, and being able to mentor is just like how I would choose to keep going.
And as you say that, I mean, it's the realism of flight training. I mean, at the end of the day, I got a couple of videos to where I had some horrible landings, but
we have all had those.
We're going to have some bad landings every now.
Oh yeah,
it happens to the best of us. All of them can't be butter.
Oh yeah.
Right, right, absolutely. They can't. I
You're
say
like,
those
you're
videos
playing.
too. Those videos are in the crate. I did not pull them out yet. I'm like, no one needs to see this. But maybe they do,
Yeah.
maybe they do. So, maybe, I'll get some confidence one day and like do some bloopers or something, because there are definitely some bloopers, in the crates.
Yeah.
I don't. Fortunately for me, I 1999 did, and I don't have any videos of my life. I have no videos of my back.
You know what? Sometimes that's the best thing, though. That's what gets people in trouble a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly. There's no proof.
Oh, we'll have to get some. We'll have to get some of
Yeah,
Megan going
totally.
forward.
I will. I'll get my GoPro since I've been flying more recently. So
Yes.
What advice would you give to other Black women who aspire to pursue a career in aviation?
I say go for it. I say go for it 100%. I've learned so much about aeronautics, about weather patterns, about mechanics. This different language that we speak when we're on the radio comms. It's just, I say it's my second foreign language, because when I first heard it, I was like, say what? And I was shaking when they, were like, okay, just say it. I'm just like, I can't get the sentence out. And I have video of that as well. But just go for it. It will be so rewarding. Just like Megan, when I first started out, I kept it very quiet and under wraps, because I was afraid of what people were going to say, if they were going to be negative, or afraid, because sometimes it's hard to get people out the group chat, and just go on a commercial flight on a vacation, much less, to be in a plane, 3-4 times a week. So I would say, just be very careful about your goaling and, who you're sharing it with off rip, while you're getting comfortable with the experience, because it is new and you're going to be absorbing a lot of information. But yeah, absolutely 100% go for it.
I agree. That's literally my answer. Is just do it.
Just do it. Nike
I started
chick.
flying in my early 30s, and so I think that you can't live your life with what if. I mean, you could, but it's not fun. So just go for it. Whatever information you need. I think that Toya hit it on the head with social media. It's such a tool now. You can find practically anything or someone, and I think it connects all of us in a way that we've never connected before. And I would say there's so many, whether you're following Toy's page, my regular page, your Urban Aviators, Women Rock Wings, like now we have access, right?
Yeah.
To so many other people that are doing different things in aviation. So I say not just do it, but tap into the community. Find people, be crazy like me and Toy, and like jump in somebody's DMs.
And while you're on that, and while we talked about fly culture, that was one of the big things we're trying to figure out, or we're trying to make sure we're telling the story and we're presenting it in the way that the masses can understand. And it's not just for pilots, it's for people that's interested, it's for girls that like to brunch, at the airport around like fancy luxurious cars, it's for the whole entire culture. Tap in, get familiar, see where you fit in, because it's so vast, and it's so many ways that we can all, just partake. So
Absolutely. We agree.
Yeah. I'm kind of like you, Toya. So like in my training, I'll be sitting there before I press the button. All right, Bolton Ground, Cherokee.
Yes.
Say before I hit the actual button to make the radio calls. And
yes.
Sometimes I have it wrote down on my knee pad.
Yes.
Listen, radio calls will make you feel like you don't know how to talk. Like when you first start doing it.
For real.
Like
for
you
real.
do not speak.
Dude, I was so nervous. And I remember Stephanie and social media. I don't know if you guys know Stephanie, but she was like, Toya, there is like a program that you can like listen to at home and like practice, and you'll be fine. But yeah, I have this video. I would get really nervous, and I would be like, okay, all right. And you can hear me in the video. I'm like, okay, all right, do we have a seat? And then I'm talking, I'm like telling them I'm getting ready to take off. And then I'm like, I look at the CFI and I'm like, I don't hear anything. I haven't heard anything in a while. And he looks and he's like, oh, we're on the wrong, radio channel. And I'm just like, what? And, so these are the things that happen,
Yes, absolutely.
Like, because I knew to ask him, hey, I haven't heard anything in a while. Like, is something wrong? Can you double check that for me? And, so you slowly, it just becomes your lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. I was listening to live ATC earlier, like,
yeah.
Just like going, listening to ground, listening to tower, just because you have to listen to, because it is another language. You have to listen to it, like, to practice your ATIS and to practice, how you're going to taxi, you have to practice. And so you practice by doing. So I was literally earlier before I went to the airport, just listening to live ATC and just writing down like the ATIS and, what information did they say for today? What's the altimeter? Like, and the more you do it, the better you become.
100%. 100%.
I got kind of turned around. So when I started my training, I started at a towered airport.
Okay.
And halfway through, I flipped to a pilot-controlled airport. And it was a huge change, trying to get used to all that and, making all the calls and instead of asking for everything and stuff like that.
Wild West. And
yes, it
so
is.
It definitely is.
I'm reverse. I started non-towered and now I'm towered.
Okay.
And so it's very, it is very different.
It's very different. I was at non-towered, and at the airport that I trained at, they had gliders. Okay. So on any given day, there would be gliders. At any given day, there would be jumpers. There would be people jumping out of the sky. There was it's a military airport not too far away. They would be coming in. I mean, at any given day, you could have any of these scenarios going on in the sky, and wind and weather, and turbulence. So it was always very interesting. Every day was very interesting.
One thing I've always told people, like, when they ask me, like, how was it? Do you ever get nervous? I tell them still to this day, I still get nervous because if you ever feel too comfortable, that's when, I feel things can start going wrong. So you should always have a level of, nervousness. Not saying that you can't feel confident, but level of nervousness. So you just don't get overconfident.
Yeah,
and
I agree with you.
Happening. Absolutely. Sorry, Soya.
No. I was just going to say, I agree. Yeah. 100%. I've had people watch some of my videos and they're like, when they see me in person, they're like, you look so serious and, you look so, focused. And, I'm normally like really laid back and cracking jokes and, just laughing. And I have a good time while I'm flying. I was going to actually post a video while I was doing my ramp. I was doing a donut. I told him to see if I'm going to do a donut. And he just kind of looks at me. He starts laughing. And I'm like, it's a slow donut. I'm like taking it around in a donut on the ramp, but that's me just having a good time. But when you lock in, you're very focused and it's very serious. And, and you are nervous. So you want to be able to take care of yourself and the people in there with you. So
absolutely.
To pay attention. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm dial back right quick. So as you talk about, things for that have been happening to further along, education and opportunities for, women and things like that. Lately, I've been seeing a lot more scholarships pop up that are geared towards, women pilots. I'm starting to see more grants that are geared more towards that. So with that, can you share any initiatives or organizations, most definitely share yours, that have supported you in your journey as a Black female pilot?
Do you want to go? I mean, I could go, but
yeah, you can go first. It's okay.
My story ends kind of sad. Besides Women Rock Wings, I mean, there are a lot of organizations out there, and you know what? It's so crazy because it's global. It's global. We have African sisters. We have sisters in the UK. We have sisters in Australia that have completely embraced us, as a community. And it's amazing to see. Specifically for me, one of my dreams, my bucket list thing was to fly a seaplane. So I booked about halfway through my training, I booked a seaplane flight to kind of see what it was going to be like. And I drove down to just outside of Orlando and met up with a guy named Tony. My son came along with me. And Tony had a flight school. He had a flight program that he offered, but I just was kind of going for my discovery flight in the seaplane, right? So we convinced my son, I don't really do a lot of convincing. Either you go up or you don't. I'm not gonna pressure you. If it's not your thing, you ain't gonna ruin my flight. Okay, you can stay down. But so my son was like, yeah, I'll go. So we all three go up and we had a ball. We were surfing. We were like lake hopping. I mean, I was in the plane screaming, and then he did the thing like, okay, it's your go, you take over. And my son, he just couldn't believe it. He was like, I can't believe, and he's probably the only one that'll just jump in the back and fly with me. But he was like, dude, like, you're killing it. And we had a great time that day. And Tony was like, dude, you fly really, really good. He was like, when you get to the point where you're ready to come and get your rating, he was like, I will sponsor you. I'll take care of you. You come out, my company, we're going to do this. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, for real, like I was all, like, I couldn't believe it. I was all smiles. We lost Tony later that year, sadly, in an airplane incident. And it really, really saddened me, because I was really looking forward. We really connected in a way that not a lot of people connect, and the inspiration was crazy. The way that he believed in me was crazy. And to be able to do that for me was insane. So there are people out there that you would never even imagine in this community that will look out for you in ways that you never, ever would have imagined. So that's my story. Most recently, and I got to give a shout out to Fly Compton. I met Fly Compton, the folks of Fly. I love them. Oh my God, they're amazing people. Earlier, I'm trying to figure out what month I'm in while I'm talking. These months are flying by. I think we're still in the same month that I met them. But they were like, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm at the tail end, dude. Like, I got all the hours. I just need to like seal the deal. And they were like, dude, if you got the time, you can come out here and fly with us. And I was like, y'all want this Brooklyn? Y'all want this East Coast girl in Compton? That's what y'all want? So that was amazing. So I'm gonna try to make that happen. I'm gonna try to get some time squared away and go out there and finish up the program. I think that would be a dope way to end in my private pilot journey.
Oh, that would be an amazing way to end.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
I think so, man.
This is me flying out to where Fly Compton is and taking some pictures. To say I'm there, obviously to support, but to be a part of,
Be a part, man. Be a part. This is crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'll pass to you.
Oh, me? Okay. Yeah. So for similar to Toy, I think my support system started with an individual before it began with any level of an organization. So my mentor, CJ Charlton, most certainly was the person that really pushed me to start flying and supported me in my journey for through many different changes, through my stop and goes, through me being activated and having to, activated for the military and having to stop training and start back again. And so he truly was the biggest supporter for my aviation journey to date, if you're talking about in the industry. Organization, the first organization I came into contact with within the industry was honestly OBAP through him. And really the first time I encountered OBAP was at the time they were still doing kind of like their springish conference, and it was in Vegas. And I believe that was in 2019, I believe it was, or 2020. I can't remember because these years are flying.
Goes by so quickly.
It's just like, I'm like, what year was that? And so it was just the interest in like, everyone that I met when they found out like I was really just starting, they like take my number, like, what do you need? I'll come talk to you. And I also would love to give a shout out to Captain Gabrielle Harding as well. She was amazing and she took the time, and I love telling this story. I don't tell it often, but it's one of the best stories of my of my small pilot journey is, being confused about what a flare, like how to flare. And that's where I was struggling. And she said, let's go out to eat. And she literally um like drew out the pattern on a napkin. And I'm serious, we're like sitting in Delaware and we're sitting at the table, and she literally took the time to meet with me, and she just like talked me through the pattern and just talked me through flaring. And it's those moments, like that's what my story is, like definitely OVAB, and but definitely my mentor. And like really when Gabby took that time out to sit with me, Captain Harden for those who don't know her, but when she took the time to sit with me and really just go over something that we would think is so small, you know what I mean? It's important, like you said, mentorship earlier. So those would be the organizations for me. But obviously there are other organizations that have been doing it for a long time. Shout out to Latina Pilot, like Latino Pilots Association. Shout out to Sisters of the Skies. Shout out to Papa Social. I know like there are plenty of people that that I know personally that each of those organizations have helped, and they have like the amount of funding and grants that they've done and help create programs like United Aviation Pipeline, people through those programs. So I would shout out those organizations too. But me personally, that's my story. It's more individuals taking out their time to mentor me and things I'm like, oh, you don't have time, but they made that time.
Absolutely. I gotta add women in aviation too.
Yeah.
I was a part of the Orlando Central Florida chapter, and I had a very fun and unique experience with them for a year while I was in that community. So just being able to volunteer, being able to give back, but being able to go to meetings and see women working for NASA, and owning airports in Orlando. Like I had no idea. But I was able to actually visit NASA, being a part of that program. And that's something that I just remember looking at in like my social studies book or like my science book in school. And I was like, wow, I'm here as a pilot in training at NASA with a room full of other women. And we're planning a huge girls in aviation event, to help youth. It's just mind blowing, when you're in these spaces with these people, whether it's one-on-one, like Megan said, or you're sharing, in a community. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Yeah. It's been fun. I have so many good memories. This community, I can honestly say, like, this question is such a beautiful question because I've mainly felt embraced. I have way more positives than anything. And as far as like our journeys, just for me, I think we could all still do a better job. Like, I think keep growing, keep reaching out into the community, keep lifting. I think let's keep growing. There's so many young people coming up. Like, one of the things that's a dream of mine is I'm originally from East New York, Brooklyn, and I never knew, like, I've been in the Air Force for a long time now, but when I first went in, I didn't know the Air Force Academy existed, right? And then you get in and you hear about this thing and you're like, what? It's an option for, free school. Like, obviously you have a commitment to the military after, but it's an amazing education. It's an amazing opportunity. And none for so far since they've been doing like pilot slots, no one has really come out of my neighborhood, right? And, you have to get like congressman approval. You got to write to Congress, all these different layers of that application. And one of my dreams is to like send some young people from my zip code, like as we're doing this journey. So like, we still have work to do. So for the organizations that we don't know yet, or we do know, but haven't mentioned, like, keep doing it because there's so many people you can still reach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like myself. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And so with that, I had no idea. Even in my own backyard, we had Spartan School of Aeronautics, which is in a couple places, but huge flight school as far as getting people to the commercial airlines and also for, aviation mechanics. But, not having the exposure, not knowing anything about it, and, learning way after the fact is, I want to get people, to see that, especially back home, because I don't know a lot of instances. Like I'm the only one that I know out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, with a pilot's license. And that's something that I want to change because it's all about exposure.
Absolutely.
If I had had the exposure to that school that was in my own backyard, I probably could have started this journey a long time ago. I'd have been a captain for someone right about now, I feel, because I mean that's just how much I love flying. And I truly understood from that trying to give kids exposure. That's the biggest thing. They can't experience something if they don't know about it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. 100%. And while you're focusing on the kids, being able to, include the parents as well, so that they can be educated on, what it's going to take. Because like you said, there's schools right in our backyard. The high school that my kids went to had an aviation program, aeronautical program. And they had a big plane, demo out in front of the school, and we just ride past it, and you just don't even really think about it.
You don't think about it at all.
Yeah, you don't. And, they get in high school and it's like, are you playing basketball, football, which one we going to? And, and you just kind of go right over it. And it's amazing. Me coming off from an event in San Diego and posting some of the events that went on there, and then sending my son some of the behind the scenes. He was like, he's in auto mechanics. So he said, I think I may make, switch gears, and, he's graduated and everything, but he said he's thinking about, maybe taking up airplane mechanics as well. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the possibilities. So,
and that's what matters.
Get you a free mechanic.
Yes, have me a free mechanic. I feel good to have one now for the car, but for my future plane, I mean,
exactly. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much you'll save.
Yes,
that's what really gets you.
100%. 100%.
Gas prices are, further east, because gas prices here they're about $7.80 a gallon.
Okay.
Ooh.
I remember when fuel was like $4 something when I first started.
I was like, it was like
remember those days?
That's where I started. Wow, 7. Wow.
It's right.
Yeah, no.
We still gonna pay it. We still gonna pay it. We still
gonna pay it. With no problem too. Like we going today.
Yeah.
All right, we'll flip to the other side of the spectrum. Could you share a particularly rewarding or memorable moment that you've had while being a pilot?
Oh, Megan, can you go? I gotta think on this.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I would say encountering young people that see me. It's always fun. It's always inspiring. It's always great energy, because they're so excited. Like, how do you not love the little people? Like, I mean, they're so they're the best because they have this bright outlook on life, and even if they've been through some things, they see you as a beacon of hope, and it gives you something to push for. So I used to be a Sunday school teacher, and I had the littles, and I always used to say they make you the most prepared because they ask you the most random questions.
They sure do.
They listen, and I said, I remember being asked certain things. I was like, I'm gonna be ready to next Sunday. They're not gonna have me out here looking crazy, and so I feel exactly that way every time a young person encounters me. And I felt the same exact way when I commissioned to be an officer in the Air Force, because you don't see us often, and you can you literally see the light in their eyes, because you hear that statement so much and you're like, whatever. But it's a real thing because they brighten up even in their posture when they find out that you're coming through and what you do and who you are, and that you're going to take some time out with them. It really just fuels your spirit to keep going and to do more. So I would say those are it's not like one exact moment, because we did Essence and we met so many women last year and they were so thrilled to see all of us and meet us. So I love all of those are my memorable moments, all of them, because that light, every time you see that light inside of them, it just makes you shine even brighter. So that's what I would say.
Oh, that was so good. That was awesome. That was awesome. I love it. That was great. Gosh, you said Essence. So I guess I have a 2-part answer. So my most memorable would be having my friends and my family jump in the back and ride along with me. I mean, that is insane to me, you know, and the fact that they trust me. I remember flying my first, she was a teenager, you know, I remember her mom telling me she was pregnant with her, and she's riding in the back of the plane with me, like ready to go. Like, I'm not scared, you know, and we're flying over the ocean, and, you know, she's back there and she's recording out of the window. And, you know, I'm like, you get your video, girl, like this, you know. So being able to have my family fly along with me is memorable. Rewarding, I would have to point out Essence. That was a life-changing experience. I remember getting there, and, you know, we were looking and we were like, you know, what's going to be the most impactful things we could do with our booths, you know, to let people know if we're not speaking to them, you know, when they look over at our booth, you know, what's going to draw them in, what's going to bring them in. And I remember being at Target and seeing a Barbie, you know, it was a black Barbie, y'all, with an airplane. And we were like, what? And I took a picture, and I'm like, yo, we got to send this to Megan. Is this, you know, is this the vibes? And Megan was like, get it. I think it was like $100. She was like, get it. And so we had the black Barbie. And I'm a huge fan of Barbie. You know, I've been playing Barbie since, yeah. And we had these big, gigantic pink bags that said Black Girls Fly Too. And we stuffed them with paper so they would like sit up and poke out. And I just remember everybody that bent that corner, that like as soon as they got around the corner, they saw the Barbie, they saw the bag, and they just had this huge smile on their face, and they just beelined right for us. And we were ready for them with the mics, like, hey, 'cause I was interviewing, and like the stories and the people we met. I was interviewing people that I had no idea I was interviewing. I was interviewing people from like big places, y'all. And they was just like kicking it with us. I don't want to, you know, shout anybody out if we can't, but it was insane. And we had celebrities slide through. We had sororities, fraternities. We had teachers come through. I remember we were so focused on women and girls in aviation. There was a young man and his little brother, and they came over, and they were interested. They wanted to know, you know, what do we need to do to be able to fly? And I grabbed Megan, and I had this video of her just very intently speaking to this young man. And while I'm recording her, I got another phone. So while I'm recording her, I look over at the little boy in the chair, and he's on his phone, playing an aviation game, like he's flying a plane on his phone. I'm like, what is happening here? So that was so rewarding for me, and we have the footage and we have the connections even still till this day, and hopefully we can do a part.
Can you see her?
Yeah,
there she goes.
Sorry,
that's
okay. I bleak out.
Yes, I love your smile though.
Oh, thank you. Like, I'm still here. I didn't go to
Yes, you are. No, but I remember it too, Toya. Like, it was, he was very like focused. Like, you had to be there.
Yeah, he was on that game, boy. I was like, wow, this is nice. It's very great to see. Yeah.
I'm excited for Essence this year too. Sorry, like that just brought the joy back. Oh, if you can make it, please come. Just come. Make your way there.
Yeah, make your way. Yeah.
Fly yourself.
A recent experience that I took a young man that he's actually from the Congo. He made it over here. Was able to get his citizenship. He finished high school here in Columbus, Ohio.
Wow.
All he wants to do is be a pilot. That's all he wants. And so so I got a chance to meet him actually volunteering with another organization, and it was like, because they saw that I just created the nonprofit, and they saw me on LinkedIn, and I came to volunteer. They was like, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, it's me. And then it was like, I got somebody you just got to meet. And then it just kind of went from there. And the weather up here has kind of been crazy back and forth with, you know, if it's not raining, the wind has just been atrocious. But we finally got a day last week, you know, to go up and fly. And, you know, I wound up, I got him a headset, so to get ready for
That's awesome.
his training, and we went up. I let him fly my plane, and he was just if you could have just saw the smile on his face, just from just all that, being able to do that, it was amazing.
That is
I love
awesome.
that.
That is great to hear.
That's
That is,
beautiful.
yeah.
Those
Absolutely.
moments are priceless.
Mm-hmm. So
Absolutely.
like when you talk about the kid playing the game, I get it completely.
Yeah. Yeah. I was blown away. I was like, man, you couldn't write this, it was perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
So here's somewhat possibly a tough question. So,
okay.
Can you share any unique challenges you may have faced as a pilot while in the aviation industry?
Let me see.
I always toss it to Megan first. I'm gonna let you take this first while I
always
think.
Like, go ahead, Megan.
Go ahead, Megan. Go ahead, Megan, while I think.
This is me out here first.
We've had this question for like a week. I'm like, I can't.
Oh my gosh! Like, what obstacles? This is me. What obstacles haven't I been?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think I'm a Black woman no matter what space I'm in. To be honest, I'm a Black woman every day, 365, 24/7, no matter what room I step into, no matter what space I inherit. I am a Black woman, and God saw infinitely to create me so, and I love being Black. So I think that life as a Black woman is a unique challenge, right? Not because I have that issue, but because other people have that issue. And you make your way through these challenges by, faith, grit, and your community. That's how I see it, because obviously we're all doing what we do because, one, we love what we do, but we're also doing it because we already know we don't see us in these spaces. That's already a given, right? So what unique challenges, obviously, looks and comments occasionally, but I haven't experienced that overtly as, someone in aviation. I do occasionally, people are just surprised. I guess that's the most challenging, right, aspect of it, is the surprise factor, or some of the people who focus more on the fact that I'm a Black woman, who don't necessarily want to support you because you are a Black woman. They don't say it, but their actions say it. So, when we walk into these spaces as Black women, I think we just carry our power with us. And whoever's my tribe is my tribe. Being the age that I am now, right, and having lived life in this body, I very much have learned that racism is somebody else's issue. And not in the sense that we don't live it, meaning like that's your problem. You want to be mad because I'm cute, and you want to be mad because I have this wonderful melanin, right? You want to see me broken, as Dr. Maya Angelou said, right? Still I rise, right? That's your problem. It's not my problem. And so my challenges, they've come, but like I said, my faith, my grit, my community, these are things that can't be taken away. And so when I encounter any type of challenge, whether it's lack of support, obviously our programs sometimes get less funding than other people, right? And we have to work harder to get funding and creating spaces. Those are all the challenges we continuously face. Sometimes we face the challenges of us not supporting us, right? Yeah. But once again, what do I say? My faith, because God has blessed me with whatever he's blessed me with and whatever he's gifted me with. So he will always make a way, right? My grit is how I was raised, right? It's where I'm from. It makes me creative. It makes me make ways out of no way. It cannot be taken away from me and my community. Those who love me, love me. Those who are for me are for me. And that is how I overcome every challenge.
Everything that she said, every single thing that she said. So I don't even have nothing to say. Like, that's 100% what it is, and I love when you said we carry our power with us. I'm very authentic.
That's right.
And I'm just very real about, who I am. But I'm also very serious at the same time about who I am and who I represent. And just everything that Megan said, 100%. I haven't been terribly, put out, in spaces or felt uncomfortable. I've actually felt empowered, if that's, the right word to use. And I felt like this is my space. I feel confident enough in myself that this is my space. And I don't want to be off-putting or claiming, anything that I'm not. I'm a lover of general aviation right now. I'm a PIT, and I'm in flight school, and I've flown planes all over the country, and I love it. And I'm going to shout it from the rooftops, and I'm going to, encourage whomever wants to do it to do it. And I do it unapologetically. And now we're doing these amazing events with these amazing corporations, and that's why we're getting the backing, and that's why you see us doing the things we're doing, because of the way that we move.
Absolutely.
It's fun for all. So yeah.
That's right.
Most
He's like, okay.
You said it best. I can't say that I've had any real moments to where I kind of felt like left out, discriminated against, or anything like that. I have flown probably to some airports, but I probably won't come back. But
I know that's right.
Yeah. As far as like any moments like that, I can't say that I've experienced anything just overtly. For the most part, the aviation community is welcoming, arms open, things like that. Because for one, I think you have to have somewhat of an open mind to be able to do the things you do as an aviator.
Yeah.
It takes thinking outside of the box, and it takes, forward thinking and things like that. Because you always got to stay forward of the plane. So, stuff like that, I think helps to, like I said, I'm not gonna say it's not there, but it's not there probably overtly as within doing some other things that we know.
Right.
Absolutely.
You can actually see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
deep breath.
He's like,
deep breath.
Listen. We can talk, but like I said, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Listen,
and I like that. The truth is, if you have an issue, that's your issue. That has nothing to do with me. So it's not my issue. That's completely your issue. I like that way of thinking.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I love that. And we show up, like you said, you've flown into places, you show up at FBOs, and you can kind of feel, and where the conversation may be going. I'll just keep it super light, but there are no signs on the door. You know what I'm saying? So we can walk in and we can kick it, and we can do what we do the same as anyone else. And that's just what it is. So if we know, if we have the awareness out there, then we can go for it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
Like to a couple airports, middle of nowhere. And then the hospitality that you necessarily wouldn't expect. Just like had a weather layover, and like, yep, if you need to stay tonight, here's the couch. Stay here as long as you need to. Snacks in the refrigerator.
Yes.
The whole 9 yards.
Yes. It's so cool. It's so cool.
It is.
And that's what I've experienced. I'm always like, this is so cool. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So I definitely say that. That's why I say the aviation community in itself, I think, has a lot of open arms.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think more open arms than not open arms. Like you will, there will always be those people, but I think more so as our generations change, as our access changes to each other, right? Those people are like fading out, especially within this community.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Alexa said, oh, thank you.
Yeah, that is so true. It's so true, Megan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just life and living. And I think the older you get, and not just older, but the wiser you get, you know what to let go of.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
It's just at the end of the day, navigating through people. Like I said, I love it. I'm going to keep I'm going to steal that. I'm letting you know right now. That's their problem. If they have something wrong with it, that's their problem. Anything that's going wrong, that's negative. Hey, that's your problem. That's not mine.
Yes.
For real. I'm like, you want to be mad because I have more melanin? Okay, have a nice day.
Have a nice
Go
day.
ahead and go fly. Like,
I'm gonna take my melanin out to this plane, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen,
what is gonna change?
Please.
Yeah.
You seem like you're the one with the mental issue as far as I'm concerned. I gotta go.
I got to go. I got to go.
There's so many great
What
things.
changes would you like to see in the representation of Black women in aviation, both in the cockpit and across the industry as a whole?
Mm.
I think so. You got to go first. This one.
I would like to see fly culture annually, giving people an opportunity to come out, network, build, share experiences. I would love to see, workshops, different things taking place at this event.
Like Destiny.
Yeah. Hi, Destiny. That's what I would love to see. Not only just Black culture, but I would just keep the events coming, keep the actual, what do I need to pay for a ticket so that I can show up and connect with you guys. So yeah, that's kind of where I'll leave that.
I would like to see us supporting us more. Like a lot of times we're willing to, and obviously these other events have been around way longer. And, so we know, but support the events that have you in mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm working hard I haven't gone, like I said, I went to the spring one, but I'm working hard to get to the OBAP in August. You know what I mean? Like, you can't make it every time, everywhere. You're one person, obviously, right? But like, maybe this year go to OBAP, maybe next year go to Tuskegee next. You know what I'm saying? Like, next year go to Urban Aviation, go to Fly Culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make your way and like, let us start supporting each other. Let us start, like she said, events are so important because like, there's just something about us, right? We just have that thing, right? Yes. And we just do things different. Not differently. We do things different. Period. And I know it's in our nature, and the way we celebrate, the way we consume anything when we step into spaces is like no one else. So I would love to see us raising the bar and supporting one another. I would love to see us raising the bar in the luxury of the industry, because we're so career focused. Listen, and I love it because we need the money to do it. But like, there's so many luxury aspects of aviation that's so fun. Like, I would love to see us resting more in that space too, for the enjoyment of it, because we deserve enjoyment. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd like to see more of, us supporting us doing more luxury events, and just us enjoying aviation, not just only being career focused.
I love that, Megan. And I guess I'll go ahead and give y'all a sneak peek into next year. It's going to be a smaller event, but it's definitely focusing around the luxury of aviation, and it's just out of this world.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
Yeah, it really is. So stay tuned, but I love everything that Megan just said. Like, copy, ditto, same thing.
Listen, we gotta enjoy our lives. Yeah. I think and I know this is slightly a tangent, but it's just, our story is not always struggle. You know what I mean? Period. Like, in life, obviously you have to struggle to make things happen. You got to keep going. You got to go over obstacles. But I'm like, the overall cast of Black people is always this horror story, and we have so much joy. We have so many gifts. We do so many wonderful things. We're so creative. We're so beautiful. And I think that we need to like start leaning into that more.
Yeah, I love that.
Things.
I love that. I could go into my story and probably have the whole audience in tears. I don't think people realize, the life that we've lived. Yeah. Homelessness, just like bullying, just the struggle, trying to make it. I can't buy lunch today, lunch money, gas money, whatever it is, I'm filling out for food stamps. I got to get a job, whatever the story is. You look at my social media page, for an example, and you see, me smiling and grinning and having a good time. But the life that when the time comes for me to share really deeply and to be able to express why I feel it's so important to be kind of like at this level of being a girl and being soft and not having to figure things out all the time and not having to be the hard one, to take up a hobby that turns into a passion, that turns into something so rewarding as aviation. And I don't care how much it costs type deal, as long as I can make it happen. This is what this is all about. So we'll get there, but this is where we're at now. And we want to bring everybody along with us. We want y'all, other people to continue to show us. I got to give a shout out to Anthony Oshanuga. Like, he showed me a whole nother level of living, you know? So, keep showing us, keep sharing with us, and we'll all share our gifts together, and we'll all support, one another, and make everyone's dreams come true. Help make everyone's dreams come true. So
that's right.
Something that I've been doing like recently. So like, I see somebody, and I like when somebody likes like any of the pages or anything that we've been doing so far. I see they have like an aviator name type stuff. I'll go to their page, I'll like it, follow it, and then I see whoever else they're following. So I'm just following everybody. I've just been all over the place with trying to support and follow and see what they have going on within their aviation journeys and what they got to show, and how their stories can help. If I need to show somebody else, well, here's someone who had kind of the similar situation that you had. They're making it too, but then also to see what they have going on. So like, as you say, like, next time I'm coming out to the brunch. And so, because like I said, I just saw this not too long ago. So, I know next year is going to happen. So I know next year I'm going to try to come.
You're like, be ready.
let me jump in. Even though you weren't able to come, you and your organization has donated a brunch ticket, a leveled brunch ticket. So you did VIP ticket, and we're going to be able to honor a faculty member of a school. I'm not going to give out names right now, but it's just the pay it forward thing. So we appreciate that. And that's what we mean by, each one of us supporting each other. You can't be there in the flesh, and God, I would like wish for you to fly your plane out there and land on that. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, that's what it's all about. And next year you got us. But I appreciate you doing that and making it a way for someone else to be able to come and experience the event in your name. So we appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Glad I could help.
Thank you.
Uplift always.
One last question.
Yes.
I know we've been for a while. Let's see. I'm trying to pick a good one.
They've all been
good.
I think is going to be a great one, because you're not going to be expecting it, but I think that with what you're doing, you are, and you can't tell me that you're not. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it.
Okay.
How do you navigate the balance between being a role model for aspiring Black female pilots and focusing on your own careers? Or is it just for fun?
Ooh, that is a good question.
That is excellent. Wow. That's excellent. Ooh. I can answer. Unless you ready to hit us?
You could definitely go first for this.
Okay. The question disappears because I need a visual. So how do you balance between being a role model and for Black pilots and focusing on your own career goals? Okay. So right now I'm flying for fun, right? So I have goals and dreams down the road. So I will be talking to you on a serious level, because I do want to own a plane. I want to own a seaplane, floats, and I want to live in the South Florida area and fly people, charter planes to the islands. Like, that would be like living the life for me, right? But right now I'm working. So I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own company, and I work in business solutions, just helping businesses grow and be amazing and be great. So I take it very seriously, being a role model in my pilot journey, because it's so unique, right? It's so unique. Even as an entrepreneur and what I do day to day to make money per se, it doesn't touch on people the way that this does. So I take it very seriously. How do I balance it out? I volunteer all the time. And that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. When you have time, I don't just have time and spend time at the beach or spend time, at the bar or whatever. Like I literally in my free time, I'm like volunteering, and people think it's weird, but I'm like at the equestrian center volunteering, I'm, talking with Megan, trying to figure out, how can we give back? So right now I would say my position as a role model or as an inspiration in the field of aviation and my little circle of people in my network is huge, and I take it very seriously.
See, I want to say, I don't want you to cut yourself short and say that your circle, because as you're on, social media, your circle is bigger than you think. Because people are seeing you. Because like I said, I'm all the way, I'm here in, Columbus, Ohio, True. And I saw you.
Okay.
And I saw you. So, there's people seeing your story and seeing, what you're doing all over the world. So your circle pretty much is, I'm going to say it's all over the world because people are able to see that from you. And you're inspiring people everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Sometimes we forget that because sometimes it's just the camera and us. And you're measuring yourself and your outreach on metrics from Instagram. Not everybody is going to comment, not everybody's going to like, not everybody's going to DM you. So you really don't know all the time the lives that you are touching. But every now and again, there's a spark. Every now and again, there's someone that kind of pops out of nowhere, and you're like, it just kind of touches you in a way, and you like, dang, And every now and again, I get the opportunity to have that same moment with people, and I let them know in a big way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you for saying that and making that a reality in my mind. And I'll take it even, more into consideration when I'm doing things. But I take it very seriously. Like Megan said, we're all that we have. Representation is very important, and we have the luxury. And I don't want to take anything away from the men, because the men, our Black men, have been so supportive,
100%.
supportive. Like I almost
100%.
I almost feel like sometimes like, ooh, like when are we gonna make sure we communicate that? Yeah. And I'm glad I'm getting a moment right now, because our event, Black culture, is not just for women.
Yes.
Right? This particular event we're celebrating. That's our theme for this event. But the men, Mel, watching him and watching his story and seeing him on the History Channel and I lived in Brooklyn too. I'm not originally from Brooklyn. My dad's originally from New York, but I did live in Brooklyn, went to high school in Brooklyn, and I connect with Megan in that way. But it's amazing. It's amazing the people that will come to you and say, hey, this is what you've done for me. But it's also amazing for me to be able to have that opportunity and let people know that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah.
Megan, it is your turn.
Oh, Lord. So how do I navigate between being a role model for aspiring Black pilots and focusing on my own career goals, or is it just for me? So when I start, like I said earlier, when I started, it was just for me. And now I think it's a collective, and you really just have to be cognizant that you're your own person too. And knowing that you have a journey, right? That belongs to you. And obviously we do a lot, we live in community, but there are aspects of your life that belong to you. Like, for instance, I've had a lot of back and forth in my training. And at first I was, in some ways, not shame, but I felt a level of resentment, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been used, to create this community, and I have not finished. But at the same time, that is still a powerful story of not giving up, of persevering, of holding on to your fortitude when you know something's for you. And honestly, it was because I went back and forth that the community was created. So, you can't knock your story. And I think that's kind of how I find my balance is not knocking my own story and living in my own personal moments, and still knowing that I will be seen, right? And just having healthy boundaries at the same time, right? Because we all have our own lives. So just creating those healthy boundary spaces as what I'll let in or what I'll let out. And saying, okay, this part of my journey is mine. I just started flying again. And I really haven't publicized it, obviously, until now. But there are some moments I'll share, but some I won't because I'm like really starting over again. But when it's appropriate to share, like in this moment, I'll share it. So it's just really choosing what is appropriate and what isn't appropriate to share. And I'm always going to have fun because I love what I do. So like being a role model doesn't have to be daunting.
Yeah.
It only becomes so when you try to be perfect. I think my best role models have been transparent, with their triumphs as well as their failings. And you don't have to tell all of your business to say, okay, I fell down, and got back up. You can say what's necessary, but because of their transparency and being able to say, hey, I fell in this area, but this is how I got back up. Those have been the best mentors for me. So that's how I shape my mentorship as well, as like the necessary transparency. I've literally been flying since about the top of 2020, and between COVID, being activated for special duty tours, getting pregnant. And yes, you can fly with when you're pregnant, but it wasn't like that for me due to the type of pregnancy I had. So like I said, still owning your story and knowing that you can tell this and still maintain your personhood. So, and have fun along the way. So I think it's a combination of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Me and Megan, we go back and forth on it a lot because our life be life, our life be life. But the thing about the job and the journey, it's not done. It's not over. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So we're going to take advantage of the time that we have here, and we're going to, keep pushing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's what it takes, sharing your stories, talking about it. Because like you said, Toya, you just never know what you may say or what you may show somebody that might impact their life in a way that changes it for them in any shape or form, as far as, making whatever better. Maybe, just because they see you fly, it was like, I didn't even know that was available for people like me. But it's kind of like you're saying, feeling kind of like the Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. We all we got.
All we got. Yes.
And, I do agree to touch back, like we were saying. I want us to take care of us, support us. That is the biggest thing. If we can have a united front or things like that, we can most definitely be unstoppable in that aspect. And that's what it's going to take, being able to support each other, showing up for each other. Making ways for each other, just doing things like that.
100%. We agree 100%. We struggle a little bit in that, we struggle in that. It's just the way that the human people are, but we are going to persevere, and we're going to lead by example, we're going to connect by example. So it's going to be all right. We got this.
It is.
Yes, we got this.
Most definitely. See, she's might have dipped out for a second, but I want to thank you, just in case she doesn't get to make a comeback.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for graciously, making an appearance. I truly appreciate it, and all the information, passing this along. And just for the future, because like I said, now you got me ready. I'm coming to the fly-in, wherever it may be at some point. And exposing me to some things, like I said, because I just flipping through, I wound up finding it, and that's what we need to continue to do, and then continue to support each other. And like I said, I just appreciate y'all for coming on, sharing your stories. I know this is going to help out somebody and inspire somebody from here, because this most definitely won't be the last time this gets played. Of course, to a group of young ladies that I have within the group, they're going to see this and help them, as their inspiration and role models, and keep going. And anytime that you all are ready to come back, please let me know.
We will.
About aviation, because ever since flying, this has truly been my passion, and I could talk about this 24/7.
Oh yeah, you see how long we've been on already. Like, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but the same thing happens to Toya and I when we get on the phone. We're like, oh, we're gonna be in there real quick, and
we're on it.
Like we love it. You can sit and shoot the breeze, and just really, it's enjoyable. It's wonderful. It's so freeing. You be at the airport for hours, just just there. Like,
Yes, 100%. We'll definitely be back. You were like perfect timing for us to finally connect with you, for you to connect on the level that you did, to invite us. It's been a professional experience. I wish you the absolute best. If I ever come across anybody, I'm like, oh my God, we gotta get your story out. I will send them your way.
Absolutely.
Everything was spot on, just getting us on the live and the information. I mean, you've just been amazing. We really appreciate it, and I'm humbled, and I graciously thank you from top to bottom for everything. We really appreciate it. Thank
Everything Toya said.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
in the stream.